Welcome to Children's Church. I'm Elisa. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Even though we can't be together in the church building, at least we can be together as a church family. So we're going to pray and have a story and do our candles just like we always do. So first, let's have a gathering prayer. Just pretend that you're here with me today, all right? So let's bow our heads and say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for being with us today. Please quiet our minds and open our hearts so that we can hear your story about Jesus' last Passover. Please, Lord, be with us today as we are together in heart and soul and mind. Amen. All right, let's have our story. So once every year, the people of God would gather, and they would go to Jerusalem to celebrate the feast of the Passover, to remember how God led them through the waters to freedom. Every year, Jesus would celebrate the Passover feast in Jerusalem with his family and friends. But this year, Jesus' friends did not want him to go. But Jesus said, we must go. And the disciples, Jesus' friends, said, don't go. People in Jerusalem want to hurt you. But Jesus said, we must go. When the day of Passover came, some of Jesus' friends went to the upper room. When evening came, Jesus joined them in the upper room. And he laid out a table, the Passover feast. And his friends came to the upper room to be with him. Then Jesus said the words of the feast in a way they had never heard before. Jesus took the bread and blessed it and broke it and gave it to them, saying, take, eat. This is my body, broken for you. Then Jesus took the cup and said, drink this, all of you. This is my blood, which is shed for you. Then they sang a hymn and went out to the garden to pray. Then it happened. People who didn't like Jesus took him, and they wouldn't let him go. Later, they nailed him to a cross, and Jesus died. It was very sad. But 3 days later, God did an amazing thing. God made Jesus alive again. So every time we eat this bread and drink of this cup, we remember Jesus and that God made him alive again. So now I'd like to invite you to gather with your family, and just like we do at Children's Church, have some bread or some crackers and drink some water or some juice and share in a communion with your family. And then we will gather together for our prayer. I hope you all had a really nice communion with your family. And right now I'd like to invite you to find a candle or a little tea light or something that you can light so we can share in our prayer together. So we are gathered around our prayer candles just like we always are. So with your family, talk about one good thing that happened to you this week, because that's what we really want to be thankful for. And even though this might be kind of a lonely time, where we're just talking to family on the phone and seeing neighbors from a distance and missing our friends at school, there's a way that we can all show our encouragement and show that we are in this together. So what I want you all to do is get a piece of paper, any kind, okay? Fold it in half, and you all know how to do this. You are going to make a heart, okay? And what I want you to do with this heart is I want you to hang it in your front window. So anyone who's walking by your house can see that you are sharing your heart of encouragement, because we're all in this together, okay? Someone started this up in my neighborhood, and every time I go for a walk, I see more hearts in more windows, and it always makes me feel so good. So put up a heart this week, okay? So everyone can see it. And now, let's bow our heads. We'll have just a little moment where you can think about that one good thing that's happened this week, okay? And then we'll come together. Dear God, thank you for all the wonderful things we have. And we would just pray that you would be with us during this time of what might feel like distance or loneliness, and remind us that you are with us, giving us encouragement, showing us love, and we are going to share our hearts of encouragement with all of those around us, and we're going to be thankful and think about all the wonderful things we have, even if it is just a time to be quiet and a time to slow down. We can really use this time to think about you and think about Lent and the Easter season. Thank you, Lord, for being with us.